Many are saying this is impunity from the governors in all these demands that you're making. Governor Oparanya, how would you respond?
Yes. Accusing us for doing what? I can't hear you well.
Governor Oparanya, of course, this is about the concerns as governors you've been having on corruption and the war on corruption. And you actually talked about immunity from prosecution.
Yes.
And it should target the people involved and not necessarily the governors. How do you respond to what has been said?
What I know, my friend, is that us as governors, we are on the forefront on fighting against corruption in our own counties, and we have on many occasions reported any suspected corrupt cases to relevant agencies concerned with corruption. But what we are saying as Council of Governors is that as a governor, I'm not an accounting officer. It's clear, this is stated clearly in the Public Finance Management Act, that the accounting officer is the CEC in charge of finance. And it is the CEC in charge of finance who has the sole mandate of appointing accounting officers. And the accounting officers are the one directly responsible for all financial transactions within whether at national government or county government. But it's strange that when we are fighting corruption, that now our governor is being tracked on accountability issues. And even there has been cases where it has been decided that actually governors are not accounting officers, and that's why we are saying that while in the office, you should have immunity, and that happens in other countries with the devolved units, like Kenya, like Nigeria, Pakistan. You will find the same.
Would you speak?
There is a provision for impeachment.
Honorable Governor, would you speak for all? Would you speak for all governors when you say this? When you talk about immunity, would you say? Let me not talk about you, but Mutula Kilonzo's had some reservations about you, and he'll say them. But would you?
You see, as a governor, yes.
Would you talk about all governors, or are you talking about yourself? Are you talking about yourself or all governors? And do you know the intentions of all governors when you're talking about immunity?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying that we are not saying that we should have immunity against corruption, but we are saying that the law must be followed properly. There is a provision for impeachment. Why should we have that provision for impeachment of a president and a governor and not others? Whoever came up with the constitution must have thought through and said that as a governor, you exercise sovereignty of the people at that county level. As such, you must be given the ample time to do your work without interfering. For example, what has happened in Busia, if you go to Busia now, nothing is happening. Why should it be a mistake of my individual mistake as a governor affect the entire population of Kakamega?
So what should happen? What should have happened to the governor of Busia County?
Service. Yeah.
What should have happened, according to you, to the governor of Busia County then?
I feel that the Busia governor was humiliated. What should have happened? He would have been called in court and be told this is the mistakes you have done, and then through a process, impeachment proceedings should have started at the county assembly, and he should have been impeached, and then thereafter, when you are out of office, you are taken to court.
Okay, I'll get Mutula Kilonzo to respond shortly. But impeachment, we have seen, can be and it is a very political process. If somebody has been alleged to have committed an act or to be corrupt, what is the problem with that person being arrested just like any other Kenyan and being taken to court, as has happened with the case of Ojamong? And of course, he'll have his day in court and will be able to defend himself.
Yeah, what we are saying that a governor is a head of department, is a head of a government. And since it's a head of government, if you take someone who is a head of government in court, then that respect that he has from the people disappears.
Meaning, Honorable Governor, meaning if somebody...
It will be difficult for him now to exercise that authority over those people.
Governor, if I was the governor of Kakamega County and I was corrupt, would you say then because Kakamega County will not run if I wasn't there, nothing should be done to me at all?
But I'm giving you just a realistic situation now. That as we talk now, I wish you came to Busia. Nothing is happening there. Why will people of Busia suffer? Because Ojamong has been found, is not yet even guilty.
Yes,
that he is corrupt because
court,
he has to go through a court proceeding, which takes time. So why not exercise the other alternative of impeachment, so that he can continue his work, and as soon as
because impeachment is not,
then you can take him to court.
Impeachment is not a redress to corruption. But anyway, let me get Mutula Kilonzo to respond to you now.
I'm disappointed actually that Governor Oparanya seems to suggest that governors and county governments are a one-man show. You arrest a governor, the county stalls, it doesn't move. That's not what was contemplated in the Constitution, because it is contemplated in the absence of a governor, a deputy governor would run and the county would run. But even that argument alone is an absolute contradiction when he says, look for the accounting officer and not me, I don't sign checks. So if they don't sign checks and one of them, like his colleague, was in custody for 3 days and there was somebody who was signing checks and had not been arrested, why would that county run? This is what we have been talking about. This idea that governors go around with their seats to functions, it's because they have elevated counties to their personal egos. Means a county is equivalent to a governor. That's not what we contemplated under the law. So therefore, the people of Busia, when he says the people of Busia, nothing is happening, I'm wondering what was happening before Ojamong was arrested. Because we would like to see garbage was being collected before he was arrested. Now it's not being collected. For example, that argument falls flat in the foot or in terms of questions of accountability. Governor Oparanya knows about the process of impeachment and how, and as you correctly say, it's a political process. But that does not address the criminal aspects of mismanagement and pilferage of public funds. He has not answered the ultimate question as to how governors should be treated. What he has said today appears to me to be powdering the nose. Governors want to be powdered, even when it comes to criminal processes. People have been arrested all over the world. If they intended, and what you should be asking Governor Oparanya today, why has it taken them so long since the advent of this constitution to then come up with this Johnny come lately thing?
Law
or proposal. It's not a law because they've not sent a proposal to us.
Okay. Governor Oparanya, how do you respond?
What I'm saying, Honorable Mutula, Senator, that the laws that we have must be having gaps. But because if there were no gaps, then Busia County will be continuing with this work in the normal manner. But as I say now, the operations are at a standstill because even there was a process of having had Jamong to step aside and then have the deputy to take over, then there would have been no problem. But already there is that problem, and this is a reality. So how do we address this? But what I need to emphasize, that if a governor is corrupt and is found corrupt, he should go to jail.
But you are saying, you just said that person should be taken through an impeachment process and not be arrested.
But the way, because there are gaps in law, I'm saying this, and Mutula is a lawyer, he knows this. There are gaps in law that unless now Jamong steps aside and the governor, the deputy is to take over, nothing is happening, because even the accounting officers themselves have been accused. And there is a process of appointing others to replace those ones that have been taken to court.
Okay, so just give us an example. What has really stalled in Busia County? Because this is a governor who is out on bail. He has had his day in court, and he will have his day in court to defend himself or otherwise. What exactly has stalled? Because I'm sure he has appointed people to do jobs, and he also has some roles there.
Yeah, you know very well, according to the provisions in the law, if you are a civil servant and you are taken to court, you stand suspended. And if you are suspended, obviously you cannot carry out any transaction. For a governor, it's different. But these other officers, that is the CEC finance, the chief officer finance, and the guy in charge of treasury, these they have to step aside. And these are the ones who have the authority to approve transaction in the FMI system. So for you to have other officers in place, you must start the recruitment process of a CEC who will at the same time now, and the chief officer who will at the same time now have the power to appoint a chief officer, an accounting officer, because at the moment there's nobody who can now appoint an accounting officer.
Okay,
because the governor himself cannot do it, the deputy cannot do it.
What exactly stops them? But
so how will we move?
Let Mutula respond to that.
No, it's unacceptable. It's not the first county that has not had a CEC of finance. Governors are known to have appointed even other members of the county executive to act in acting capacity, pending the appointment of the other one. The late Governor Gachagua Nyeri had an acting CEC even at the time when he was being impeached. It's not possible to tell Kenyans that when one individual in a county, one person is charged in court and is suspended, a county stalls. It's just not feasible. The law never envisioned such a gap. Such gap does not exist in law, and therefore it is important we state that governors must make sure that counties are running. It was anticipated that a CEC would either be impeached by the county assembly, a CEC can die, a CEC can be unwell, but the county doesn't become sick because the CEC is suffering from a cold. That is what we want the county governments to tell us.
Senator, what you are talking is maybe what you think should happen. But what I'm telling you is now what is happening. Because even to appoint a CEC of finance to be recognized by the central government, by central bank, you must cassette that particular CEC, and you must forward the cassettement to central bank so that this CEC is taken into the system, and therefore he has the authority to appoint the accounting officers. So how long will that process take? And this is the reality. Maybe you are talking from the legal point of view, but I'm talking from the reality on the ground.
Okay, Mutula Ji will respond to that. Honorable,
are we together now?
We are not.
So you better check this fact with the Treasury, National Treasury and Central Bank.
There's nothing that stops.
Yes, that's the truth.
Hussein, there's nothing that stops immediate gazette.
Of course, appointing an acting one, there's no process.
There isn't.
If you are appointing the acting one, the chief officer and the other accounting officers can continue the work.
Exactly.
But the entire lot have been charged to court. Then what happens?
You replace them.
But I mean, that's what Mutula Jr. is saying. If you can,
but you replace them. I'm telling you, the process of replacing them is not an overnight issue. There is a process also required, and that process will not take less than 2 weeks. What happens in these 2 weeks when you are going through that process?
So what do you want?
I would have requested. I know you are a very clever lawyer. You better
look into that.
Take these facts with the central bank and the national treasury.
Okay, Honorable Oparanya, in that statement that was made,
for you to be appointed, even to be the FMIs, what process do you follow?
Okay, in that statement that you made as COG, and in fact I also want to ask you as you respond to this, was this statement by COG sanctioned by all governors? We didn't see all, I mean, we don't expect to have all governors together. But is it something that was sanctioned by all governors? All 47 governors in this country stood by that statement. And then you also said, that you are aware, you also said that you are aware that security agencies will target more governors in the coming weeks. So my question is, if it is individual culpability, why would you want to close ranks yet you don't know the guilt or otherwise of anybody? Why should it matter that a few governors could be targeted in the next few weeks for corruption. I mean, you're only targeted if there's a problem, isn't it? And if there's no problem, you can prove it.
Definitely.
Governor, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Can you repeat yourself? I can't hear you.
Yeah, that was a long one. Okay.
Shorten it.
I'll try shorten it, Governor. First, I asked you if this statement by COG was a statement by all 47 governors, because it was a very, as you see from the reaction, controversial one. And number two, when you said that
there are not 47 governors, but they had a quorum. The governors had a quorum, but there were not 47 governors.
So not all of
and
them.
And when there is a statement from the chairman, it is respected by all governors.
But not necessarily binding to all governors.
Yes, not necessarily.
Not necessarily
binding, but it is respected.
Okay, well, I'll take it that the governors who are there are the ones who maybe it could be binding to them. The ones that flanked Governor Nanok. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but then
it is not binding, I have said, but it's not respected as such.
It is again not respected as such. Okay. Yeah. But when you say that you are aware security agencies are targeting more governors in the coming weeks, are you worried about that? Because if that will happen, it's about individual culpability, and why would you be worried about that?
That particular statement, I'm not aware that
it was made in the same. It was made in the same briefing, Governor.
Maybe I never noticed that. But I'm saying, what I'm emphasizing is that governors should not be taken as extraordinary. But anyway, proper procedures should be followed so that operations at the county level are not interfered because of my personal problems. There must be an easier way of dealing with me if I'm found corrupt. I'm told there must be a way of me stepping aside and maybe my deputy taking over so that operations at the county level are not affected.
Okay, so you're not saying impunity as such, but...
and that's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's...
yeah, but you can see in most countries where we have devolved unit, those people who exercise sovereignty of the people have impunity because when they are court proceeding, obviously that interferes with your work. But there is a way you have to be out of the office, and immediately you are out of the office, you are charged for those.
And that's what you think should happen
cases here? Or criminal or whichever they are.
Okay, finally, Senator.
No, that one I can't say. Maybe you have a lawyer before you, he can say...
But you're giving it as a proposal, and I'm just asking, why would you give it as a proposal?
What I'm telling you is just the realities on the ground.
Okay, and I'm asking you a straight question, because you're giving it as an example. Would you want that happens in other jurisdictions, for example, that you're saying, to happen in Kenya? Yeah. What is, you know, the structures of these governments you have are all uniform all over the world. They are slightly uniform with a few variations here. And if there are impunities in Nigeria, there are impunities in Pakistan, in India, in America, why should it be exceptional here? But what we are saying, as soon as you are found guilty, you come out of the office immediately, and someone goes and takes over, and the functioning of the county continue. Okay. Honorable
what Governor Oparanya is saying is a contradiction. On one hand, he says that they are not accountable. On the other hand, he says charge the chief executive of the ECMs in charge of finance. But when they are charged, he says, please allow them, give them enough notice to tell them that you are going to charge them, prepare them to leave office so that we can make changes. That is fallacious. It's not possible that we offer notices, that DPP offers notices to prosecution. Because the fact is, you can't have two executive members in charge of finance. It can only be one at a time. If his time has come to answer questions, his time has come. That we must deal with. I am sure that in the system, whether it's a treasury, control of budget, IFMIS, there must be a way to expedite all these processes. The Gazette notice is issued every Friday. I don't think counties should stall. In any event, it's not like counties withdraw money every day. It's not a shop. If they don't withdraw, go to the bank every day to withdraw petty cash. Counties must have a system where, and I'm telling you, the approvals they get from controller of budget are not done on a daily basis. They come to Nairobi by monthly, means every other week. The county executives come for approvals to withdraw. So therefore, a week, in absence of an executive member of finance for a week, in my perspective and from practice, should not stall the operations of a county.
So you don't see any gaps
because
any gaps in
the county government is not a shop where you withdraw and have floats every morning. It's not possible.
Okay, Honorable Oparanya.
My friend Senator Mchula.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you are talking of what should happen, but I'm talking to you what is happening now. And I can tell you that our officers are always in Nairobi, in the Office of the Control of Budget, for approvals.
Daily.
They are after they have to go to Central Bank.
Daily.
Those are some of the things.
He's asking if it's daily, of course.
Do you get approvals on a daily?
Nearly daily.
But
how is that
possible, Governor?
Yeah, because financial transactions happen every day.
Daily?
What? Daily?
Is that what you're saying?
How?
In the county?
Daily? Which ones?
Yeah.
You don't pay salaries daily?
Yeah, every transaction no, but you need petty cash. Cars are running. How do you get fuel?
But you pay cash, you fuel in cash? No. This is the way you run a shop.
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Not the way you run a government.
But I'm telling you that is what you are saying, because you are not a governor, but I'm telling you I'm a governor. Those are the realities on the ground.
Things that you're going through.
That the process as is now. You cannot have a CC finance, a CC in charge of finance in 2 weeks' time. It will take you more than that. Because remember, you have to take it to the county assembly.
Is this something you're willing to look at?
A county assembly has to put it in the papers. You have to have public participation. So how long will that take?
What I'm simply saying.
You're seemingly shocked by what Governor is saying.
I'm not shocked.
Is there something you're willing to look at in terms of gaps? Does it make any sense to you that there are any gaps?
So is there something that you can improve?
No. What I'm saying is this.
Senator, you can improve the process so that it is much shorter.
No, so for purposes of managing a county, I would think that there would be possibly an alternative signatory to accounts. That is a process that you can look at. Because I don't understand how. There's no place even in government or any office, even here at Royal Media, where you have one person who signs bank accounts or collects cash. I'm surprised, Governor, that if your CEC finance is charged in court today, you will not have tea, your car will get stuck, you will not sleep, you will not eat. It's just not possible. It's difficult to convince anybody.
What I have told you.
I don't even need to be a governor to know that.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, Governor.
Now can you listen to me? I've said why there is a problem. It's not the CC. The CC you can replace anytime you want. You can have someone acting. But you see, the man in charge of Treasury is the chief officer in charge of finance. And any transaction is mandatory. Is the last approver of all payments in the IFMI system. And within that, there is the man in charge of the budget. All these people, I'm saying, they have already been charged. Replacement of these people require a process.
Even in acting capacity?
Which cannot take less than 2 years. Yes. But replacing a CC, you can do it. Yeah? But as you replace that CC, also to appoint an accounting officer and to be recognized in the IFMIS, you must cassette the same officer. And that cassettment must be taken to the Treasury and the Central Bank. That is the process, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I personally don't foresee that. I personally don't see that as it's just a question. It cannot be an impediment. Because if it's projects.
And if you want, let's have a meeting and I show you the process, and you will appreciate the difficulties that we are in.
What I know in terms of government procedure,
and the moment.
Okay. Now it's my turn. It's my turn. I have a vehicle that is...
You just watch at the end of this month, if the people of the employees of Busia will get their salaries, then you will come back to me to say, but they have...
You see, it's first and foremost, it appears strange to me that Governor Oparanya would have such details about
Busia County.
About Busia County. If he has such details, then I've got to question Governor Oparanya's operation. But
how?
But
this...
Let the senator speak now. Okay, let the senator speak now, Governor.
And furthermore, Busia is next to me. Busia is next to me.
Yeah. Okay,
we have a common border.
Yeah,
so, but you're already predicting that...
It's a stone throw from my head.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting that you're already predicting that salaries in Busia at the end of this month.
Yes.
You're already saying that, so I mean that must be privileged information.
It is privileged information. Governor Oparanya would not know about those details, and he will not even disclose. The fact is that even when governors and Governor Oparanya was at the forefront when they didn't receive the releases from Treasury, the banks were able to release funds to them pending that release. So when Governor Oparanya says that Busia County workers will not receive salaries because one person has been charged in court, surely it's not possible. How did the other people get salaries? So we want for purposes of accountability, and this statement by governors does not talk about ECMs. They're saying, okay, you charge those fellows who are signatories, but don't charge us. Meanwhile, we'll be in office without tea and without salaries, but you go and charge these people. So governors must be consistent.
I think,
do you want amendments to the law?
My friend Mutula, you are putting words in the mouths of governors. I don't think the governor said that, but judge the CEC and don't charge us.
Yes.
Expressly, I never heard of that.
Yeah. So give us...
Because if I have committed an offense, why would I say that someone should be charged and not me?
What is therefore the basis of...
That came because of the operations.
So why would you propose immunity?
Yeah.
We want to understand the purpose, basis, legal factor of immunity.
You are taking these issues out of context.
But we have a statement here.
Yeah. Okay. But sadly,
why can't you also check? Why can't you check what happens in other countries where we have devolved unit? Okay. So that we are all talking from knowledge.
Okay.
And we are all compare what happens
here. It's a conversation that we'll definitely be having in the next few days. But thank you so much, Governor Oparanya. You've offered Mutula, you've actually requested Mutula that you have a meeting. I don't know if Mutula will agree to that. To have a meeting to discuss these issues.
He's the chairman of Finance, Council of Governors. I sit in the Finance Committee.
Let me...
We are willing, and we are always willing to listen to you, governors.
Okay.
But this one, you're not going to go very far.
Yes.
On this immunity.